Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. My name is David. This is a weekly question and answer video I'm doing every single Monday. I'm answering questions from the last question and answer video from last Monday, and I encourage all of you, please go down below into the comment section, ask me any question you want, and I will answer it next Monday in next week's video. I'm trying to help people heal and recover and grow from all kinds of different trauma, mostly emotional trauma in relationships, toxic relationships from abusive and neglectful people like narcissists and borderlines and sociopaths and psychopaths. Best way to heal from this kinds of trauma is to really learn and understand what happened to you, really learning about yourself. So please ask questions. There's no such thing as any bad questions. I don't care how repetitive they are. People need to hear this over and over and over again. So please ask questions. Something I like to do is recommend something for you guys to help you recover from trauma every single week. And I do recommend a lot of books. This week, it's another book. This is a great book. It's a book by Dr. Wong Brown. The title is Emotional Abuse and Child Neglect: Why Parents Abuse and Neglect Their Children's Feelings. It is vitally important to be able to identify neglect and abuse in your childhood. It can answer a whole lot of questions for you and help you know what you need to heal from, learn from, grow from. Not learning and not healing from childhood abuse and neglect is abuse too. Not healing from these things makes us repeat them. It makes us keep going in relationships with people that are neglecting and abusing us, okay? And if you're having relationships like this in adulthood, I highly encourage you, start looking at your childhood. That's where it comes from, okay? And it can be a very difficult thing to identify, and it can be a very difficult thing to heal from. This book will hopefully point you in that direction, help you do that. Here's something he wrote. A child may be considered emotionally abused if she or he is under age 18, subjected to non-accidental serious physical or mental injury, sexual abuse, or exploitation, or serious physical or emotional neglect caused by acts or omissions of the child's parents or other persons responsible for the child's welfare. The abuse of children by persons other than those mentioned above is a crime against persons. Emotional or psychological abuse is the best understood. Okay, there's a little more. I want to just kind of tell you a little bit of guidelines of this book. This brief ebook answers 20 revealing questions about child abuse and neglect, such as, why do some parents emotionally abuse their children? Why do some parents emotionally neglect their children, which is abuse? What can happen to an emotionally abused or neglected infant? I'm telling you, this starts right at birth. Right at birth. Right at birth, these things start. Your problems start. And that's why it's incredibly difficult to identify. We can't compare it. We only have one family, one childhood. They also answer questions of what is non-organic failure to thrive syndrome? What is psychosocial dwarfism? How can emotionally abusive or neglectful parents get help? Is yelling at children emotional abuse? Does emotional child abuse and neglect affect school performance? And then 6 more lists provide additional information seldom provided in child abuse books, including personal skills emotionally abusive and neglectful parents may have failed to master, conditions common to emotionally abusive and neglectful parents, common behaviors of emotionally abusive and neglectful parents, common symptoms of emotionally abusive and neglectful parents, the rights of children, agencies to contact about emotional abuse and neglect. And I have questions today about this. So some of you asking me questions today may benefit from this book. Anybody who's read this book, let me know what you think, how it helped you. Really great topics, really great questions to answer. And like I said, it's just so necessary to heal from these relationships that we have now, is to heal from your past, your childhood. What we don't heal from, we keep repeating. Mistakes we don't learn from, we repeat. Okay? So please see that you're worth all the time and energy it takes to do this and do it. I hope you all do. Okay. Questions. Let's get right into them. First one is from James in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hello, James. What is my UX, I guess you're saying, what is my ex-girlfriend, BPD, NPD, setting up accounts on IG and Facebook with her first name and my last name, or putting a Mrs. in front of her? Excuse me. Excuse me. So James says she ran away 8 months ago for the fifth time in 8 years to her parents' home. While doing this mental stuff, she is simultaneously calling me out as stalking her. I am not. Also gets calls in the last 45 days from 2 of her girlfriends out of the blue. Finally, 3 days ago, she catfished me by making a friend's IG account with the same photos and then deleted it after asking how I am. Why? Well, I say this all the time, and I don't know her, and I'm not going to pretend that I know why she's doing this and be able to answer your questions like that. I can tell you it looks like someone who is so unstable, and I mean an unstable self-image, a sense of self of who she is. She doesn't know. This is confusing. It can be confusing for people who don't know this or understand what I'm talking about. But this is how she is trying to deal with loss. Okay? You guys know about the stages of grief. She's still in shock or not accepting it. Okay? Denial. That's what she's doing. Okay? And people react all kinds of different ways to trauma, to loss, all kinds of different ways. And that's why, James, it's hard for you to understand, because that is not how you would react to it. So, what can I say? People that do this, that are in denial like this, okay? And she's rewriting narrative, and that makes her delusional if she believes this kinds of stuff. What she's telling other people, that you guys are still together and all this. You did this to me, and then she contacted. She sounds delusional, and that's making up lies to help her feel better, because she doesn't know how to cope or fix things or accept things. So she lies to herself, cognitive dissonance, and she believes it, which makes her delusional. Okay? Sounds borderline. Experiencing loss, someone dies, a relationship ends, worst loss in our lives, most stressful. It often makes us introspect and look at ourselves and look at our lives. Most of you are here watching my videos, and you have all experienced loss. You may be watching this video because you've experienced the loss of your ex. And you guys may be doing that, looking at yourself and sitting there, what could I have done? What should I have done? What kind of a person I am, and ruminating and being depressed and thinking about the past and all these things, okay? And it hurts, doesn't it? It causes depression most of the time. It doesn't have to for everybody. It may not later in your life, as we all become emotionally mature and intelligent. Things don't have to hurt as much. But she looks like she's dealing with her loss. Well, not dealing with it, right? And she's in denial and not accepting this. And people that feel like this will do it different ways too. Totally cut you off, leave all their stuff at your house because they just can't even deal with taking it out and accepting that it's over, and then immediately replacing you with somebody else. And you know, oh, I'm in love and let's get married, rushing right into this relationship to try to patch how I feel about my past. I don't want to even look at it, deny it. And so this is somebody who won't look at herself because it hurts too much, because it's how she feels about herself. She cannot accept her own self. She can't accept her feelings of depression, of loss. She can't look at herself and say, what kind of a person I am, because she carries so much shame. This is what that looks like. I hope that makes sense, James. Please let me know what you think. Best recommendation, James, is just try to understand that now anything she does, anything associated with her, is stress for you. And this is some of the worst stress in our lives, relationships and people like this, okay? So I highly recommend being extreme, taking extreme measures and precautions to keep her completely out of your life. And you may say, oh, when she contacts me and accuses me of something and I contact her, it's no big deal, I can handle it. It's just extra added stress that you don't need, and it keeps her going and keeps her doing it. So when she can't find you and know what you do anymore, it helps get you out of her head and maybe start accepting this and maybe start healing. Maybe, I don't know. It's the best thing for you to do to try to end it. So, I mean, cut off your accounts. Just privatize them, or turn them off so she can't check on you, so she doesn't know what you're doing. Don't tell anybody that knows her what you're doing. Don't have anybody update you, okay? Try to block every single thing you can. Go to a new phone number if she's contacting you on the phone. Most of us don't know how bad these relationships were till maybe years later. Most of us don't know how bad it may be now. You may not know how bad this is affecting you now. I would really take extreme measures to keep it out of your life as much as you can, okay? For your own health. In your relationship. This can tear relationships apart, your new one, okay? Thanks, James. Good luck. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Branson from Wisconsin. The borderline narc girlfriend I was with would make me get on my knees to apologize for questioning her. Wow. Then she would hit me in the face and say, "Don't ever question me or I'll break up with you." Still hard to believe I stayed for 3 years. Looking back now, I feel ashamed in myself for not leaving right away. Bronson, absolutely, this is going to cause shame and guilt. Somebody asked me a question about shame later, so I'll dive more into it about shame then. But absolutely, shame and guilt follows these relationships, period. How could they not? None of this is your fault, none of it. And it doesn't make the shame go away, does it? So I hope you're talking to someone, Bronson, and I hope you're making really good choices now for yourself to alleviate that shame and learn and understand everything you can about those situations. Start forgiving yourself and accepting yourself and realize that, hey, this is actually a great learning opportunity. Hopefully you don't have to do this again, but it was necessary. Yeah, I'm sorry, Bronson. That's would be some tough stuff to deal with, I'm sure. I wish you luck in your recovery. Get some help. Just get this out and talk to people. It's the best way, number one way. Kat from Virginia. Hello, Kat. I've known my narc mother-in-law for 23 years. Married to my husband for 13 years. She has never changed for the better. She got worse when we got married. And so you were married for 13 years. So you were together for 10 years, and then you decided to marry him, and she even got worse. And now 13 years of her worse. And he says, and continues to get worse with time. Your videos really help me maintain gray rock. I enjoy your perspective on narcs. Thank you very much, Kat. I read this just to tell you, I just want you to know, I say things to people sometimes because I think it helps. Just, Kat, you don't have to deal with his mother. And whatever your comeback is, I hope it's just okay. You're right. Because if you start saying, well, you don't understand, I have to, she lives with us. Oh, she lives next door, you don't understand. Oh, my husband. No, your husband needs to help meet your emotional needs, right? Because he's in this committed relationship with you, right? Read the vows again. And he needs to make sure your emotional needs are met. And that means that you have security, emotional attention, emotional connection, these things. And that also includes keeping his mother away from you. And if that means he needs to stay away from his mother, fine. If she's so toxic and he still has relationships with her that's interfering with your marriage, there's something wrong with him too. He needs to help or he needs to heal from what his mother's done to him and learn how to have a relationship on his terms or say goodbye, mom. Women this toxic that interferes with their children's marriages and stuff, I don't see any benefit from keeping a woman like this in their life. Now, I help my clients, not everybody that's toxic or sick you need to ace out of your life. I get that. And sometimes we have mothers and fathers and siblings that we want to keep around because there's some good parts, right? I like to talk to them on the phone. We can still go out to lunch and enjoy ourselves. Holidays are still nice. I just can't talk too much. I can't stay over there too long. I can't, right? But a woman like this, what could be beneficial to him? Is there any benefits to you? Do you enjoy her company ever? Is there ever something you enjoy with her? Because I'd like to know what he says. I'm saying, why don't you ask him? What do you enjoy about the relationship with your mother? When you keep asking him, he's going to say something that he should or supposed to, but doesn't really, I bet. well, my mom needs me, and you got to be there for your mom. But he won't say, he can't say anything he really enjoyed. So I'm just guessing. Something to ask him, maybe, Kat. I just hope that you aren't just learning how to gray rock her and all this stuff. I hope you just don't have to deal with her anymore. I don't see any reason to, except when you have children. Oh, that gets messy. Oh man, it gets so messy because she can demand rights and visitation and all this stuff, and it just gets ugly. And yeah, if you have children, good luck. If you're going to, good luck. But something to think about. Thank you. Lisa from Kansas. Hello, Lisa. How does a family pick out the scapegoat? I made videos about dysfunctional family dynamics. I don't even remember what I call it, familial dynamics, something like that. I've made other videos about this topic. They might even be in my Healing cptsd playlist. So I'm not going to, take 20, 30 minutes and discuss the whole dysfunctional thing. But I'll just answer your question. Narcissistic parenting. Not narcissist, maybe, but it doesn't have to be at all. I'm not speaking about the disorder, I'm speaking about narcissistic behavior, especially with parents. Narcissistic parenting. Somebody else asked me a question about narcissistic mothers. Maybe this will help too, and I'll dive more into it in that question. Scapegoat is a term to label children in a toxic family dynamic. There's many other terms used. Many. And narcissistic parenting means that the parents are dependent on the child. This is very hard to identify again. It can be difficult. Some of you go, oh no, I know right away. My parents pushed me to be the golden child all the time and I had to do, or my parents fucking just hated me and lost child, get out of our house, gone, see it. Never existed. Typically, these parents, narcissistic parents, are having children and they use the children for them. They're extensions of themselves, not allowing that child to develop their fully autonomous actual self. The children are there for the parents. The parents' feelings and emotions are more important than the child's. What the parent wants and needs and what they value, all these things are more important. And the child doesn't get to form their own. You're just a mirror of me. You're an extension of myself. Look at my child. My child, I'm a proud parent of whatever college student, right? My child, you'll see the parent boast about the child's accomplishments. My child is the top of its class. And I'm not trying to say any parent that says this is a narcissist or narcissistic. It's great to be proud of your child's accomplishments. Where are they on that list? You have your child's needs, how your child feels, and then you have accomplishments. If I had children, needs and wants and feelings are at the top. My children's. Mine are at the very bottom, don't even exist in this child's life. And its accomplishments and what it does, who really cares? That's at the bottom. Good job, but not, oh, good job, you have to win, you always win, you're the best looking, smartest student, and screw all these other kids. Yeah? But the parent pushes, let's say the first child typically pushes the first child to accomplish things, and it's everything I want people to see me as. So I'm going to make my child totally successful, good looking, healthy, not overweight, can run fast, does sports well, maybe education. All these things are important to the parent, right? Don't complain. Don't tell me how you feel. I don't want to know about it. Nobody else complains about it. Just keep doing it and keep being successful. And then the parent praises himself and they think they're doing right because, it's important for the child to have education and learn how to be successful and accomplish things and smart, but totally neglecting what it really needs, wants, and how it feels. The scapegoat, and so you've got the first child that they push really hard typically, and then the second child is everything I hate about myself, things I won't accept about myself. Here's the child, everything I want and I wish, and my ego, and everybody sees this child is me, represents me, right? And this child I hate. I'm not bad, my child is. All my shame, all my guilt, all my failures, shortcomings, all of it is this child, not me. Full codependent, Full codependent. Here's the good me, here's the bad. You'll see a narcissist saying, oh, that's just the bad part of me. Oh, this is just the good part of me. They'll do that, right? And they'll do that with their children, okay? These can change, right? And eventually the child that doesn't succeed like they want you to, the child that gets in trouble, the child that may be not as good looking and overweight or doesn't get the good grades that you want, these kinds of things. Now I hate you. Okay? And I won't take any responsibility or accountability. Everything is your fault. No, the family isn't toxic and needs help. You are toxic and need help. I don't need to go to a therapist. You need to go to a therapist. Very often the scapegoat child will go, they'll send them away to, the child in teenage years gets caught smoking pot one time. We're sending you to drug treatment center. The child is bad in school one time. They take him out and move him to another school. These kinds of things to show the child you are really bad. You're bad. We aren't. You are. Scapegoat. God, I'm so mad. Why'd you make me do that? God, why can't you just succeed at something? God, why can't you just be like the other kids? And an emotional kicking post. Right? I can't beat up somebody else. I'll beat up on you. I can't deal with my own bad emotions. I'll make you feel that way. I'll lash out at you. I'm so embarrassed and ashamed of myself that I'm going to tell all my friends and the neighbor kids and your friends' parents how bad you are. You won't believe how bad Lisa is. Lisa's so bad. Lisa doesn't do her homework. She always talks bad back to me. I try so hard. You know, her sister, Emily, is great, doesn't complain and gets good. We just can't figure out what's wrong with Lisa. That's the scapegoat. Okay? And stick around. And it may look like we're trying to get rid of you, can't stand you, when you're going to leave the house. Well, we don't really want you to. We want you here to be our kicking post. If you're gone, who can we blame? Right? The lost child, we'll blame the lost child, but then the lost child's gone. How many years can we blame the lost child and they're not even here anymore? You're here. We want you here and we're going to blame you. And you take it well and you don't argue and you don't talk back that much and we can always manipulate you and gaslight you. Yeah. Severe damage the scapegoat child faces. I hope I helped you understand that a little bit, Lisa. Please let me know if you have time. Keep asking questions. Thanks. Hazel Basil from Alabama. Hi, Hazel. Hi, David. You mentioned shame is when we think we are bad. This is something I'm trying to work through in counseling. Good. I believe I'm bad, but I have zero